It's nothing but the voices in my head telling my circuits to leave you dead. Yellow, blue, green lights turning red. It's probably just a robot in my flesh, and I'm more than just a robot. I'm the Reaper. I'm more than just a robot. I'm the Reaper. I'm more than just a robot. Enough of it's the robots that want you dead. It's just the programming of maybe it's bloodthirsty instead.
Hey guys, welcome to the lab. We're back with another exciting episode of Sundaze with the Clink Room. Dave, joined by collector extraordinary Yusuf, aka Highly Cool. Yusuf, how are you?
Good, man. What's going on?
Not much. Glad you're able to join me, and we kind of get to explore a little bit on your collecting journey and kind of your life as a clinker, a clink collector, Clink Room collector. Don't know why I'm struggling to say that, but let the people know a little bit about yourself. How long have you been collecting Clink Room hats, and what kind of brought you into the world of the Clink Room?
I guess I would have to say back in 2020, for years I'd kind of gotten out of wearing ball caps in general, and I used to wear them as a teenager, and then just kind of faded out.
Right.
And then 2020, and I started watching or started catching up on the Two Bears One Cave podcast, and Bert with the MILB hats. Yeah, and that piqued my interest, and I was like, oh crap, I've totally never thought of exploring anything outside of like Major League or anything like that. And I love the logos, particularly the sod poodles. That's what kind of got me back into them. And then I just kind of started looking at his hats, and then kind of buying some more. And as I started kind of sharing mine on Instagram, I started kind of getting the algorithm started pointing me towards other directions, and then that's when it kind of led me towards Clink Room, and I started kind of trying to figure out what that whole deal was, and the pre-orders and all that, and finally just kind of got in there and pulled the trigger, and it showed up, and then I've just kind of been hooked ever since.
Nice. Do you remember your first Clink Room hat?
Drop Bears by Brady Racing.
Okay, Brady Racing. Yeah. Cool. Yeah. I mean, Bert, huge like custom hat supporter. Yeah. He's always in a new cap. MILB, Clink Room, even independent brands.
Yeah.
I've never been able to catch their hat. I think they've restocked like 2 or 3 times. Every time my size sells out like instantly. Like it's been an elusive hat. And now I think one of the teams I think the Mobile Bay Bears is one of the logos.
Yeah.
They're defunct now, so I don't even know if you can make the hat.
I mean, they're basically the Trash Pandas now, so I don't know if they still have it or if it got locked away for a certain period of time. I have no idea how all that works.
Yeah, usually when you rebrand a team and move it, usually you park their logos for 5 years.
Okay.
Minor league teams sometimes change the rules a little bit. It's a little bit more loose because usually it's like a couple people organization. Yeah, but who are some of your favorite clinkers? Like what sorts of kind of themes that catch your eye the most?
I mean, honestly, it started with Efra, Chamuco, his hat club design. This is kind of another thing that I guess kind of steered me towards customs, and then ultimately getting down to Clink Room. But yeah, Efra, 40 Swords. His stuff is just kind of just iconic at this point. A lot of them. Sierra Gons, we collabed on a Hack o' Lanterns a while back, and but I love a lot of what he does, and it's just great art. And then Page Perception, love the birds.
Yeah, he's like the
put a
bird
bird
king.
or a bear. Yeah, put a bear or a bird on a hat, and I'm pretty much gonna buy it.
Yeah.
John from Ink Park. John, he's another one that kind of initially got that my draw to him.
Yeah. Mascot master.
Yeah.
I think too, like, you mentioned Hat Club and kind of its impact on the custom hat game. I mean, I think back to some of the first things that they did. I mean, they almost kind of introduced the fresh colorway
Yeah,
by taking existing Clink Room hats and recoloring them. I remember those doing really well. Even some of them even selling out instantly. They even had like
yeah,
a hat club hockey league, which had a
yeah,
lot of like familiar faces in the Clink Room world, and got them to do their own take on um, NHL. I mean, hockey hats at the time. New Era had
yeah,
couldn't do NHL hats, so like that was like the closest we could get
yeah.
to a hockey hat. So that was kind of fun. Um, but yeah, okay, cool. Uh, where does your collection kind of lie? Are you in the hundreds? Are you in the thousands?
Definitely not in the thousands.
Okay.
I haven't kept count in a while, but the last time I actually counted was like 103, and that was September of 2023. So
Okay.
there's been a ton more that
Right.
it's got to be at least two to 300 at this
Okay.
point, maybe more.
Cool. Cool. Are there any like grails on your list that you missed? Maybe you didn't catch the original pre-order or release before you started collecting.
Oh God. I guess I mean one of the biggest. And I'm totally drawing a blank now. I'd have to go back. I mean, the Bully Dogs was kind of it was kind of a basically if you go back to page 1 or
Yeah.
62 or whatever on
Yeah.
the production tracker, those were all kind of just. I hate that I missed them. The original Clink, big Clink hat is one that I really wish that I could have just gotten the original, no side patch, green UV.
Yeah.
But there's been plenty of options to pick that up now. But that was one that I just kind of had to have. Phoenix Feathers was one that I slept on, and when I saw it embroidered, I was just like, "Oh crap! I can't believe I."
That's the hard part with um the letter logos. You know,
Yeah,
on the mock-up, they're never really like impressive, but when you see it
yeah,
done on a hat, you're like, man, like
yeah. There's no, like because they tool the embroidery so that it will put a design internally in the letter, and you're like, "Oh crap! I didn't even see that coming." So
yeah,
but
yeah, for sure. All right, cool. Well, thank you for doing that. Let's kind of cover what happened with the Clink Room this week. So we'll start off with the Deadstock Drop. So for those who don't know, the Deadstock hats typically are leftovers from the pre-order, um, and they'll ship right away at a slightly higher cost than when if you were to pre-order and wait for them, basically. So it was an 8 hat drop. The first 4 hats, Expanse, Reaper's Wings, Underground Guardian, and Bohemian Getaway. What are your thoughts here?
these are cool. I didn't pick any of these up personally.
Hmm.
I'm kind of not a huge fan of the seam on a hat.
Yeah,
That's kind of I'm not really there. But the Reaper, when it comes to Reapers, I'm real particular about those designs. So I mean, they're really cool. But I don't think I would ever wear it. And I do like to do that with my hats.
yeah,
But no, these are great. Yeah.
yeah. I'm with you with the kind of scenescape landscape stuff. I have to say though, looking at the finished product, Bohemian Getaway, that thing is colored like so
Oh
cool.
yeah.
Like
Yeah,
the
yeah. No, the background is
patterns,
amazing.
yeah, the thread choices and the colors, that's really cool. Expanses, a cool piece too. I always think about like that as like a part 2 to his like kind of like space series. Like he's got
Hmm.
like guys in
Oh
space,
yeah.
and then like you got a dude down there looking up at space. So it's kind of like a fake
Yeah.
piece product. Um, in terms of like wind stuff in the middle, I think we kind of see where his like overly detailed, extra highlight kind of style of hat
Yeah.
it just doesn't translate well to embroidery. So we lose a
That's
lot of detail in the Reaper
yeah.
with the
That's kind of
crow.
been my biggest I guess criticism or critique of his art. The artwork is amazing, but it's like it's too good. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like I want it to be a little more cartoonish.
Hmm.
kind of mascotty, whereas I don't get the same vibe.
Yeah, yeah, totally. Like for like if we were to zero in on the Reaper, uh, like to me the most important part of the Reaper is the face. So
Hmm.
everything is
Yeah,
drawn beautifully,
yeah,
but the scale of it, because you did this the skull to scale, it's so
yeah,
small. So when you go to embroider, you lose the details in teeth, you lose all the texture in the skull. And then the piece where the cloak, you got like the dark pieces, then the highlights, then the blues, then the purple's a highlight, and then there's just
yeah.
too many spots that you have to embroider on. I would say Underworld Guardian came out much better than the Reaper,
Oh,
but
totally.
yeah, there's definitely some detail issues there. But all right, moving forward, we got Space Between, uh, Chamu Kong, Ink Kong, and the Quartermaster. What are your initial thoughts on these four?
I love these. I didn't pick up the Space Between,
Hmm.
but I did get the other three.
Yeah.
Uh, I slept on those, and as soon as I saw Chamu Kong, and I saw people posting it, I was like, "Oh, you got to be kidding me!" So I've been kind of waiting for that to pop up on Deadstock, and the Ink Kong. I went ahead and got that. I mean, it's Hillside. He's another custom. I'm not necessarily primarily with Clink Room, but he's another one that I've kind of followed and tend to get a lot of his work, or the majority of it, if not all of it.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, no, I love both of those. The Ink Kong came out really good. I remember seeing the mock-ups, and it's just those thick, details. It just, yeah, that one kind of spoke to me. And then I did get the quartermaster. I went ahead and picked that one up for the free shipping. And I mean, it's a cool hat. So
Yeah.
I like the colorway. I don't know that I have anything specifically that colorway Clink yet.
Yeah.
So I went ahead and did that.
It's almost like a Oklahoma City Thunder kind of colorway
Yes.
almost.
Okay. Yeah.
Um, uh, I'm very similar to you, so I picked up three. My only difference is I grabbed Space Between and not Quartermaster, but the other three I grabbed. I'll just show you real quick in hand so that people can kind of see what these hats look like in hand. But yeah, I had to grab um
Oh yeah.
Hillside. Hillside primarily typographic letter form
Right.
logo
Yeah.
artist. So
Yeah.
for him to do a mascot, I was like, yeah, I'm in.
Yeah.
I'm in. I'm 100% in. Um, Efra Jacobo team up. Come on, like
Yeah.
nasty,
That's crazy. Yeah.
nasty. And then Space Between. So I had to grab this. We got a little piece of dust here.
Yeah.
But Space Between.
Yeah. That's a great design. God, I didn't even notice like how good the embroidery is on
Oh,
the
dude,
wings there.
unreal,
Good Lord.
unreal on it, unreal job. So
I may have to circle back and get that one.
I hope your size is still available. But yeah, that's up there for um clink of the year, I think, right now.
Yeah, no, that's yeah, it did not come across that good in the embroidery, at least in the images.
Exactly, exactly. Uh, all right, and now let's move into the last call. So these next hats we'll cover all have their pre-orders in tonight at midnight Eastern. So you'll get your last chance to pre-order these before they get sent to production. We got Thunderhead, Son, Onofre, and 45s. What are your thoughts here?
I mean, these are all good artistically. Uh, the Thunderhead, I don't know if that's gonna, you know, how well that's gonna come out with but I mean, Clink Room is Clink Room. They can, they work miracles too. So,
Yeah,
but yeah, it's a little, just the darkness just kind of seems like it's gonna, kind of get muted with the embroidery, but
yeah,
we'll see. Um, San Onofre, I mean, that's looks good. Again, not my style for the um, landscapes, but but no, it's I'm imagining that's going to embroider probably pretty well. They do such a great job with the gradient stuff, coming down the like the sunsets and stuff like that. So that always comes out really well.
Yeah.
45s, I don't know that I get that. Like I don't know what that actually is. The centerpiece. I don't know if I'm just out of the loop with the center part, like the orange kind of face or whatever.
I think it's like a pun on a lot of levels, right? So we got like the Colt
Oh,
45 bottle almost,
okay.
the Jordan shoes. He wore
Okay. Yeah,
45.
yeah, yeah. That's right. Yeah.
Um,
Okay. And then
but
the
the
the 45
vinyl, right?
shirt and yeah.
Is it for? There's got to be some type of measurement on the vinyl, like 45 millimeter or maybe
Yeah, I
40
think that's the I'm so out of the loop with
diameter.
vinyl, but
Yeah,
I can't remember if those were the full size or the
yeah,
singles, but
yeah. So it's just like a 45 pun. Um, I'm with you with the Thunderhead. So like it puts me in a tough spot, right? Because like sometimes when I do the show, I'm like, always saying like, oh, +1, what's your +1? What's your hook? I almost wish this Bison thing was
hmm
just the Bison, or
yeah.
or just the Buffalo. It would have been cool. But like now that we've thrown a whole like scenescape in it, I don't know if it's needed, So sometimes you just want like a badass piece, something
Yeah.
cool. But I mean, it could do well, We'll see.
Yeah,
Um,
no. I'm not.
and then with you, I'll echo the same kind of sentiment. I'm not huge on the scenescape landscape type thing, so I hope it embroiders well. It's got some cool like sharp points to it, so it's not just like a
Yeah.
wooden shape at least. So we'll see how it does. Uh, Now we're moving into cut or torgos and then pencil shavings. What are your thoughts here?
These are all really, really good. Um, Cut ups. I haven't picked that one up yet. But yeah, I really like the uh just the design. I mean, it's a cat with not. I mean, it's cool. I mean, it's just a fun little cat design.
Yeah,
Or that is a cat. Yeah, I'm not
yeah,
crazy.
it's yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Um, yeah. T for Torogos. Is that how you pronounce it?
Torgos. I know it's the
Torogos.
national bird for a couple
Yeah.
countries.
That one's pretty sick. I got a feeling that one's going to embroider like pretty insane. Birds always do well, and that's kind of my thing, or
Hmm.
one of my things. So I'm probably gonna go pick that up before they close. And I went ahead and got the pencil shavings. Aaron,
That's pretty
actually,
cool.
that's another clinker. Yeah, that I've always kind of been drawn to. And I love the C with the pencil shaving, just kind of in there. I just thought that was a great, just a great logo.
Yeah, I mean, Clink is dying for more um kind of letter form, so I'm happy to see that one. It's just such a cool thing,
Yeah,
takes you back to having to sharpen pencils, and yeah, the pencil being like the central tool for the artist. It just makes so much sense that you know
yeah,
that's for the Clink Room. The Torogaz, the turquoise browed mott. Basically, that's the national bird for El Salvador and Nicaragua. So, cool to see Sierra kind of flex his heritage a little bit. There was a subtle change with that hat, with the kind of tail, like it was straight before, so it
uh-huh,
made the bird much smaller. I love that subtle change of letting it flare out. So now you can really
yeah.
expand on the wings, and like you said, it's gonna embroider real cool. I
Oh yeah.
love cut ups a lot.
Hmm.
It's a real cool kind of color palette that they chose, almost like a monochromatic with the yellow highlights.
Yeah.
It's the cat looks crazy. The knives are super
Yeah. Yeah.
cool. I take care of a couple like feral cats too, so like that kind of a ear cut
Uh-huh.
is like a universal marking to let people know that the cat is spayed or neutered, basically. So that's kind of like a cool thing.
Oh, okay.
As well. So you don't like double neuter them. I mean, that would suck if you try to go in and get double neutered or spayed. But yeah, it's a cool little little like Easter egg kind of thing. So
Yeah, no, that one's actually really growing on me now that I've kind of looked at it a little bit more.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm liking just the kind of it almost that maniacal cat face.
yeah, he's getting ready to
Yeah.
mess up. I don't remember if it's Tom or Jerry, whoever the mouse is. He's getting looking to mess him up. But all right, cool. So now that we've covered those, we're gonna cover something really cool and interesting. We get to announce this. So, you got tapped on the shoulder to do one of these ultra cool ambassador packs, and this is dropping for the VIPs tomorrow, and then for general public on Tuesday. Let's talk a little bit about the process on how it happened, how it all came together. First off, what were your feelings when the Casey and team kind of tapped you on the shoulder and told you you got a chance to color your own pack?
Oh, when I got the first message, I was like, "Am I getting catfish?" Because now,
Yeah, you gotta check
and then I
the
saw
April Fools. You gotta check
yeah,
out the
yeah.
April Fools.
I had to double check and make sure that that was their account, and then I kind of followed up with them, and I mean, the immediate feeling was just kind of like honored or surprised, really. I mean, it was honored but surprised because I don't really think of myself as I'm not like a influencer or anything like that. So it kind of just a collector sharing the hats I buy. So it was just kind of uh, kind of just lost my train of thought. Uh, no, it was but yeah, it was just kind of like why I was surprised that like that I guess garnered enough of their attention to warrant being blessed with the opportunity to create a colorway.
Yeah. So, what? So you. This is a kind of cool take on it. So, Grimace and you, actually almost is like a a triple pack, so to speak, right? So,
Sure,
you
yeah.
guys got to pick the logos you wanted to use, and then also have like 3 mini colorways essentially. What kind of
Yeah.
went through your mind on how to finalize? Because two of these things I'm really happy to own, but they you can't really tell from these pictures, but they have an alternate material too. So like, what kind of went through your, like, what was the thought process? Like, how do you narrow it down? Are you picking like colors that you um like favorite hat colors, or are you picking colorways that you wished existed? Like, how did you kind of come across
Sure.
that?
All right. So the colorways, I really just I kind of reflected back to a few hats. One of the colorways actually wasn't even the original concept. We started with something else.
Hmm.
I wanted to do one of the first custom hats that I bought was from Hat Club in the Pink Martinis
Oh yeah,
collection,
yeah,
and I wanted to do a Clink Martini collection.
nice.
And but so we started doing the. I was going to do it with the moonshots and the. That's the main one I wanted to get in that colorway, and then I was just going to kind of see what else worked, but I wasn't feeling it, so we just kind of did an audible, and I was like, I have another idea. Let's just change the crown to black. And when we did, the logo popped in the colors that we already had, and then I was like, well, hey, let's try navy blue,
Yeah, yeah.
just to kind of because black and olive tends to be a pretty common colorway.
Hmm.
So I figured let's just try navy blue and the olive and see how that works. And then it popped, and we just kind of tweaked it a little bit and did that. And then the phoenix feather was just kind of up on the on the block for the next to get colored.
Yeah.
The
Let's pull that up. So these two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So phoenix feather, like I mentioned before, that was kind of one that as soon as they tapped me and were like, hey, pick six designs, I mean, it just kind of went to the rear end of the catalog and started scrolling through for stuff that I knew that
that you missed.
and I was like, yeah, I don't want to get something that hasn't. I don't want to do something that's really been done. I know I did Vandals, but that's been done a few times. But I wanted to kind of get some stuff that hasn't been coming out in fresh colorways, and I wanted to just make sure that maybe they're never going to do those. So let me just go ahead and lock those in. And
Yeah.
Moonshots was definitely one of them, and Phoenix Feather fell within that range too.
That's awesome.
But yeah, that's pretty much it for that colorway. It wasn't anything specific to we just kind of stumbled into that one.
And you went side patchless for these two?
Yes.
Okay.
These I wanted to do as few side patches as possible.
Mhm.
I specifically wanted them on the Vandals and the Pencil Kong.
Yeah.
Just because
It's almost
I felt
like
like
a
that.
graffiti thing. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's kind of what. And then this actually, the colorway sort of was inspired. I had bought the what was it, the SEAL Team 6 that Toppers did a while back that had the I can't remember what the Norfolk, is it the Norfolk Tides, and then
Norfolk Tides,
they had the camo visor, but it had a lot more metallics in it. But I bought it, and it kind of fit kind of rough, like it was kind of snug, and I just haven't really been able to wear it. And I was like, well, I really love that colorway. I was like, this is my one opportunity to get something in those colorways, and
That's
I
awesome.
thought those would tie in great with the midnight camo, just kind of creeping through the city streets, tagging whatever you can.
Yeah, that's so awesome. And then the last two is these two.
All right, so this is a little more specific as far as the colorway is concerned. Aside from hats, I collect watches, and I've got one particular watch that's it's kind of one of my favorite Grail watches, and it's a Rolex Datejust, but it's called the Wimbledon dial. People can Google that if they want.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just got the kind of silver slate dial, gray dial. And then it's got the dial markings are all Roman numerals with green and black as the outline. So I didn't have any hats that like matched it. So I was like, let me just borrow this colorway and see. And up to that point, nobody had dropped a Hive Minds, which, funnily enough, it dropped with that one pack like a week after we designed these. So I was like, all right, well, whatever. And then Airborne was one that I just kind of wanted to find something that would look cool with the green, with the black internally. And I kind of thought that the skull, that would kind of give it a pop. And that is metallic on the green. So I wanted to kind of give it a nice little shimmer. I just kind of I was kind of picturing like an emerald jewel or something, like an old pirate treasure or something.
Yeah, that's right.
Just kind of, but yeah, that's pretty much the thought behind that colorway. And then I just went, black visor and green UV.
That's awesome. So just to give people a little bit of insight, like basically how some of the ambassadors kind of shop, they essentially just send us like a kind of a list of hats. We don't really see the final products. Well, sometimes if it's a pre-order, it's obvious, like you see the mock-up or whatever. But when your pack came up, and when I put the order in, I had no idea that you did like 3 micro packs. So it just so happens that the 2 I ordered, like had I known, I probably would have got one from each. But can't complain. But I am so happy to get these 2. So Pencil Kong, part of almost, I feel like the original like 12 hats that they dropped, Clink 2.0, Ink Park, man. Ink Park's always kind of, I wouldn't say complaining, but he's kind of putting it out there that his stuff doesn't get fresh colorway treatment. So John, if you're watching, this is an awesome, cool like rendition of Pencil Kong. He's got
I'm stoked how that one came out.
And then this was during pandemic time, so at the time everyone was wearing a mask. So it kind of just reminds me of that era. I think you guys did a great job. I think Taylor had a hand in kind of helping you choose colors and kind of mock up and stuff like that. So shout out to
I mean, he was pretty free with the colors and everything. He just we just kind of got on a session together, and he kind of shared his screen, and we just kind of went through the mock-ups, and he had a couple of suggestions for colors on the blue and olive
Yeah, awesome.
pack, but
Great guy. Great guy to work with.
oh yeah,
Super easy. But for me, anytime I see Vandals on the order sheet, I'm like, yes. And I have to say, this might be my favorite version. No hyper funky colors, nothing. Just kind of
yeah.
give us what we need. The black, and then that kind of like a dull, almost silverish gray color that you use. I don't even think it's like a metallic.
No. It's or at least it wasn't intended to be. It was
Yeah, like
it was. I think we just did like a slate gray. I think that's what he called it. Because I wanted something. We had it originally just like the same gray that's in the face, and I didn't want it to be, I didn't want it to look like a transparent or anything like that. Just so I wanted to kind of have a differentiating color, and so we just went with the a little bit lighter than the black. And if you notice, that's actually the same color in the mask of the pencil Kong. We changed that just to kind of tie them together.
Yeah, so they kind of match. That's awesome. No, you did a great job. You have the other 4 in hand, so you can kind of show those off too.
All right.
What was it like? Just the feeling of opening a box of something that you worked on and you're anticipating. No one saw the mock-ups really, other than you, Taylor, and the team.
Yeah. No, it was crazy. I mean, it was surreal. I mean, it's just kind of, just kind of being part of the the Clink the process. Yeah, it was just kind of, it's just been fun just from the mock-ups and just that process. And then you get the shipping notification that hey, you got a package on the way. So, and then he gets here and you just pop them open, and they all fit perfect. It was just kind of like a just a great experience.
Yeah, but let's take a look at
all right. So
because I only got 2 of the 6.
All right, so this is probably my favorite. This was my most anticipated. I just wanted the moonshot. That's just been kind of that's one of the ones that I was around for, but I slept on.
Right.
So it's always just kind of been a thorn in my side that I missed it.
Yeah.
But so there's that guy right there.
Leroy David did that one, right?
Honestly, I don't even know.
Let me see. Let's give him proper. Leroy. This is one of Pierre's favorite logos. Leroy David out of Sacramento. Yeah. Shout out to him.
Okay. All right. And then got the Phoenix feather. That's another one that.
So unofficially, Austin might be your favorite because I think you went with 3 Austins.
Yeah, I realized that because they were like, "Don't pick your, don't be kind of spread it out." But I didn't even think about it. But yeah, Austin is one of Austin, and then Entire World. Is that
No, that's Austin.
That's okay. I'm thinking. Okay, I get Aaron and Austin. I get the 2 names backwards sometimes. Yeah.
Aaron is Smartifist.
That's right. There we go.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, just that guy right there. And then got the Airborne.
Yeah. I think you and Aaron were the ones to do this logo. Such a good
logo.
Such a good logo.
Yeah, this is one of the ones that I hated that I missed it. I at the time I was collecting, and it was kind of, I wanted to kind of get into the the letter marks and things like that, and that was a rarity for the Clink Room at the time.
For sure.
And then here's the Hive Mind.
Beautiful.
Just kind of a
So now too, production update. If the crown is a light color crown, you get the white taping. So
I noticed that. Yeah, I was like, oh, is that new?
Yeah, that's totally a new thing. I think Pierre went and talked to New Era about it because for some of the off-white chrome hats, you can see the black taping through the hat. So
okay.
I think anything up until like stone and certain light grays. Vegas gold, I think, even gets it. So it's a cool little
Okay.
change, kind of evolving. Kind of dates your hats now too. So but all right, man. Thank you so much for doing that. Again, those drop tomorrow, Monday for VIP, and then Tuesday for general public. Super excited for your first pack to drop. So hopefully there's more in the
Yeah.
future.
Yeah.
You did a good job kind of curating and picking rare logos. And even the ones that you did pick, and other people did like Vandals, you at least did it in a completely different way than we're used to seeing. So
Yeah. I kind of wanted the Vandals to just almost kind of appear as like a piece of camouflage.
mhm.
That was just kind of my thought process behind that.
Yeah,
So
yeah, awesome job, man. All right, so
thank you, man.
now we'll cover our top 20 hats for crits. So these next hats you see that we cover, if you want them to hit the shop for pre-order, make sure you guys vote on the Clink Room stories tomorrow morning to get your favorite designs in. So starting at number one, Raphael had armored. Looks like he's participating in the challenge week. So we did do an armor challenge week a couple weeks ago. Looks like a bald eagle, half biomechanical, yeah.
Mhm.
This is like a Terminator almost. What are your thoughts there?
I love this one.
Yeah,
This is right up my alley. Birds, and then I mean, like just the armor. I mean, what else can you say? I mean, it's
yeah,
just an armored eagle. That's awesome.
you
Yeah.
did a great job. No real notes. I mean,
I
maybe
can't tell what the UV is. Is that?
it looks like it's gray. So I was gonna say the only thing is maybe
Yeah.
change the under visor, maybe go red. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm a sucker for a green under. You can put a green under on
True.
everything.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, we're off to a hot start. Good job, Rafael. Number two, we got Skyborn by Wind Studio. A different take on a bird. We got a
Yeah.
bird kind of scenescape mascot silhouette thing. What are your thoughts?
Oh, yeah. I mean, the artwork is great. I like the colorway. Um, Again, I'm kind of okay with the. I'm good on the landscapes within a picture, but
Yeah,
I mean, I'm sure other people are into that still. So,
yeah. The thing is that they vote real well, right?
yeah.
So
No,
art
they look
wise,
great as images. Like that's the thing. They look great.
yeah,
I just don't know that I want it on a hat personally.
yeah, yeah. The bird kind of being green too kind of loses me a little bit. I just wish just keep the bird in
Oh
regular
yeah,
color. But it's art wise, it's a cool piece. I can't really complain about it. A little bit of the color choices here and there,
yeah,
but yeah, I'm not into um the colorscapes. If this was just like a badass kind of a brown eagle, I'd be
yeah,
all in. You know, but
yeah. Like I want somebody to ask me what team is that, and then I can kind of go into a.
yeah,
I
yeah,
don't. I don't want them to have to figure out what's going on inside you know, inside
yeah,
the bird's neck there or breast.
yeah, because this bird is drawn real well.
Yeah.
Like I have no complaints about the bird other than the green. Um, but then we have to deal with this. So if this was just this bird head, I'd be fine with it. There's
Yeah.
a team I believe in Australia. I think in the Australian Rules Football League that is very similar. Just it's like a bird head, almost looks like a UPS logo. But I'm into it. I own that hat. You know.
Yeah.
But
I'm very simple. I love simple logos. Like Wallbats is one of my favorites.
yeah,
Stuff like that. That's just a
it just looks good.
just a yeah, yeah. And then let the embroidery just kind of take over.
Yeah, exactly. But all right, moving forward. Number three, Mythic Hunt, funky turtle design. What are your thoughts here?
Oh, this is sweet. Uh, I don't know if I'm digging the color. It's a little too
A little too mono,
like monochrome. Yeah,
monochrome. Yeah,
and then the UV is that like a dark, like a slate gray or
yeah,
black.
like a slate, dark bluish gray almost.
Yeah, I would probably change that. But I mean the The imagery's fine.
Yeah.
I kind of wish they had different. They almost kind of look like they have the same like expression or face. Like kind of like giving them their own individual kind of characteristics.
Yeah.
Other than the
Yeah. I'm with you. I almost wish they were individual pieces too. Like the guy on the right, just that kind of sweeping line
yeah,
would have been cool, or even the guy in the middle, just have him be the star of the show. The
sure, yeah,
the monochrome theme is kind of cool. I just feel it needs like a pop color, like maybe like a red or a yellow somewhere.
yeah.
Maybe just give him a
Or
flashing red eye, or you
I
know,
almost wonder if the center one, if it was larger, like if that would kind of give some perspective.
yeah, make
And
the other two smaller, like
yeah,
kind of more back a little bit.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah. But cool to see him, Funky Turtle kind of stay at it
yeah,
and kind of evolve. I feel like some of the highlights and stuff, although it looks really cool here, won't embroider super well. So you probably want
yeah,
to eliminate one of the colors or two of the colors, because like even the base of the head is almost four colors, three colors plus the outline. So there's
yeah.
some simplifying he needs to do, I think, just to embroider well. But I think he's on the right track. This is one of the
Definitely.
better. This is probably his best, I would say, entry. But yeah, Funky Turtle, keep it up. Number 4, Button Smasher Josh Voles getting into the arcade week. That was the challenge last week. But Button Smasher, what are your thoughts here?
I totally dig this one. It's just I don't know what else to say about it. I mean, it's just a fun little you know video game design,
Yeah,
and God knows I was a button smasher as a kid, and
yeah. Cool piece. Stunning like those like Nintendo colors, the black, gray,
yeah,
with the red. I think he nailed it. He made the controller a little like ambiguous, so avoid
sure,
some of the
yeah,
copyright stuff, which is smart. Yeah, great. I mean, he's got such a style to it. Like I see this face, and I remember his piece he did. I think the praying mantis shrimp.
hmm,
It's cool to see like like when you do this long enough, you start to recognize people's styles and see their drawing technique, and
oh yeah,
just know that this is a Josh Voles piece, man. He killed it.
yeah, yeah. Now I would say like maybe the UV. I don't. I kind of would like to see it with the like the purple of the eye,
Okay.
maybe. Just
Okay.
I'm just kind of curious how that would come out.
Yeah, like kind of almost not quite lavender, but like a light purple. Yeah, that'd be interesting.
Yeah,
All right, number 5, the pangolin. Dom always getting in on the pun action, but yeah, pangolin armor week. What are your thoughts here? Similar to your black colorway, kind of like
yeah,
this black
yeah.
with a simple, not quite silver, but like this kind of like flat gray color. Really cool piece, I would say. What are your thoughts?
Yeah. I kind of wish that it was, I guess, more like cropped towards like the torso and head, and like kind of made it a little bit larger,
Yeah,
or just just kind of zeroed in more like the upper body, just to kind of give that a little more focus. Kind of as you put the tail and everything, it kind of shrinks the image down, and then trying to fit it in there, it kind of it's just going to make it, I guess, potentially more difficult to kind of tell what it is from a distance.
yeah, yeah. I'm with you. Um, Exaggerate the face a little bit. You can kind of cheat by playing with the perspective. So instead of it being like a flat on image that you're looking at, if you tilt him kind of more forward and just give less, I guess, space to the legs and the tail, then you can really
Yeah,
force the perspective on the face a little bit more and just kind of make that face kind of
yeah. Or even if the tail, I don't know how a pangolin works, but if the tail could like go back and up instead of down, like kind of like behind it, just to kind of
I
give it
don't
a little
know.
more roundness.
Yeah, I don't know if they can do that. I know that they can roll into a ball. That's what I know.
Oh,
Like
okay,
that's
okay.
the thing. They're not quite armadillos, but like um I know they're being hunted too, like Chinese people use it in some type of like medicine or whatever. The
Oh,
140
okay.
scales. It's terrible what they do to the penguins, but it's a really cool animal if you look it up. But yeah, like if the scaling is fine, it's just that the problem is keeping it realistic. You force yourself to make that skull or the face so small, and
Yeah.
similar to that Grim Reaper that we saw. You know, it's
Yeah.
it's drawn to proportion, but when you do it to the proportion, now all of a sudden you have a shrunk face. Um, but yeah, good job, Donnie. Number 6, Osiris, Sierra Gons. What are your thoughts
Sweet.
here? Yeah, it's a cool piece. Got the
Yeah.
beveled look to the back. It's awesome.
Yeah. No, I mean, I dig that one. I like the colorway. Um,
Yeah.
just kind of,
No, I don't have any real notes. It's done
no, no.
good. Um,
Yeah.
maybe small critique. It is a little bit more narrow than wide, but I mean, at that point, I'm just
Yeah.
nitpicking. I'm
Yeah.
nitpicking, right? It's a cool piece. Blue, green under, cannot go wrong. Good job, Sierra.
Yep.
Number 7, Storytellers. Point Exco with Unco Dude or UN Unco Dude. Yeah. Um, what are your thoughts here?
Uh, it's cool. I mean, I don't know that I would go for this one. Not necessarily my style. Um, but I mean, I'm kind of curious. I guess they would embroider all right. Just kind of like looking at the muscular details on on the guy there. Uh, I almost wonder, did that should the embroidery kind of do that instead of like having like the black kind of forming the muscles or
Okay.
the definition? Because they do such a great job with that. At least some of the stuff that I've seen or had, where they kind of tweaked the direction of the embroidery to kind of give a muscular
Mm-hmm.
appearance.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't know that I have much more to.
Yeah, that's
uh,
fine. That's fine. It's a cool piece. I know the circle kind of holds it together, but it's not a complete circle, and then the background is kind of like negative.
yeah,
So that's an interesting design choice. Reminds me of some of I think it's like, is it suntan lotion? That kind of like colorway that you'd see.
yeah,
Um,
uh huh.
it's definitely an interesting silhouette. A really striking piece. Um, the faces are
Is there s-
drawn pretty good.
is
I
there
would say.
something is there something behind it? Like it's called storytellers, but I don't know. Like, is there a story to the actual design?
I mean, we could look it up. But it's good to see him kind of team up with someone new. I'm not too familiar with Uncle Dude. Uh, let me see here. Point X. Let's see what he did. Hawaiian hula dancing performed by both male and female can be paired with musical instruments made from natural materials, along with singing form of chants, storytelling, stories of the past life journeys of ancestors to perpetuate the future per- perpetuate for generation. I can't read. Yeah, cool piece.
Yeah.
Cool piece. All right. Number 8, Tiki Hanu. So we're kind of sticking to the Hawaiian theme. Seamus teamed up with not so original handle 416. Okay. Um, what are your thoughts here?
I really do like this one. Just kind of a fun. I mean, the turtle or tortoise or turtle, whatever uh, design, and then just throwing that tiki design in the shell. That's just really cool.
Yeah. Yeah, it almost looks like it's carved in there with like some type of like marble or something.
Yeah.
They did a great job. Um, Colorway's cool. Uh, it's almost like it reminds me of like the old Seattle Mariners, at least at the top. That kind of funky green unders. Not like the Mariners at all, but Yeah, cool piece. You can almost feel the embroidery of the hat on the piece. I think this would embroider really well.
Yeah, no, I'm curious about the UV though. Like, just I'm wondering if like maybe like that kind of, I guess, that creamy color or even the darker like from the logo.
Yeah,
Either one of those, like swap it for one of those and just kind of, you know,
yeah. I would just go simple gray, but
are through. Yeah.
yeah, but this kind of like tan color would work. I don't love like the creamy like
Uh
white
huh.
color unders because that's the first thing you touch. They always get dirty quick, like off your hat. Yeah, but
Yeah.
it's a cool piece for sure. I think they did a great job. Number 9, Meltdown. Um, Creature and Heather got together for this nuclear powered piece. What are your thoughts?
No, I like this one. Uh, I mean, the design's great.
Yeah,
Uh, color's good. I'm sure it's going to embroider. You know, anytime you get like smoky or puffs of smoke or fire or anything like that, they just kind of kill that. So
yeah, they texturize it and stuff, give it a lot of textures. Yeah, it's a cool piece. Um, I, like these pieces down here, I almost wish they were kind of connected a little bit better, but I understand why
oh
they did it
yeah,
like that. But that's just nitpicking. You kind of have this hidden skull here, which is super rad. And like you said, when they get in there and kind of break up the clouds and have textures and stuff,
yeah,
like, it's gonna do great. Yeah, good job, Heather and Donnie. Number 10, Negative Space by Win. What are your thoughts here?
I like that one. That's really cool.
Yeah. Um, my initial thoughts is it kind of looks like a bunny running, not a like the shape almost
Oh,
like a rabbit or a hare, not so much a fox.
true.
Uh,
Yeah,
and then
the way the feet or the rear legs are just kind of up towards
yeah,
the neck. Yeah, just kind of like he's hopping.
and then you got the speed line going this way as well as this way. I would just keep it one way, maybe just like him running this way. But I guess he's putting it this way because of the bird. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, it's called negative space, but like the funny part is like
Well,
this
I was gonna say it's
part,
not negative
it's
space.
not
Yeah.
negative space. Yeah,
Yeah.
he filled it in, so he's got all these like extra highlights too all the time. Like I would just cut a lot of these
Yeah.
highlights out, man. It's like double highlighted, so he's like this rust color, then he's orange, and then there's a highlight on top. It's like
Yeah.
you almost could like do so much more with just having so less color. But yeah, it's a cool concept. I would just make this totally negative space and you won't and don't highlight it to death. But
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, it's a cool concept for sure. All right. Number 11, One Up, Sierra Gaunt's.
Heck
Jumping in
yeah.
arcade. Arcade week. What are your thoughts on this one?
Oh, I love this one. Uh, any of these video game ones, I'm totally on board for. Those are just I'm kind of a fan of old 80s and 90s consoles and stuff like that. So that's kind of my generation.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
colors are good. I can't tell what the visor is. Is that black or
It looks
kind of a brown?
like a
Or okay.
graphite, or maybe like a dark brown. Yeah, yeah. Not
Either
quite
way,
black.
yeah,
One Up. Yeah, it's a good piece. That old, almost
yep,
like Atari joystick
yeah,
style. Yeah, he did a good job here. Another good arcade week entry, and another one. We got Gemini teaming up with Unknown for Clink. Kind of this pinball text. I think they
yeah,
did an awesome job. Um, Another one that you can kind of imagine how it would feel on the hat embroidered. The textures of it, how they kind of
yeah,
simulated the blackout.
yeah. No,
More.
I really do like this one.
Yeah, I saw them posting on in Discord and talking about visually how it's a little bit of um uh what you call it, a little of it just plays tricks on you, making you think that the N and the K are smaller because they don't have that top bit. But I mean, that's
Yeah,
how it would look like. So
Yeah.
You know, it is a bit of an illusion, like an optical illusion. But I like the simplicity of it. Almost reminds me a
Yeah.
little bit of like the 24 countdown too from that TV show.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, just a great piece and another arcade week entry. Looks like we got our first spring entry. That was a challenge last week. So Flanagan Studios with the Resurrection piece. I'm not a huge religious person, but I can kind of respect what he kind of like did here with the kind of the rebirth and um,
Yeah.
that kind of thing. What are your thoughts?
Artistically, it looks fantastic.
Yeah,
I'm sure it's going to embroider, awesome. Just the, I guess the butterfly wings kind of just, just those big open areas. They always just come out so good to me,
yeah,
embroidered.
yeah.
And then just those thick outlines or the black lines throughout it. So
I'm a
I'm assuming
teenager.
that's thread, or is that negative space? Is there a way to, or is that something they figure out in the process?
Yeah, I think it's a design choice internally if they want to go super raised thick lines or if they go negative space. But the face worries me a little bit, just the size of it.
Yeah.
I mean, we were talking about it
Yeah.
earlier with small faces. This is a small face, so
Yeah. It would almost benefit from having less, within, like the center there.
yeah, just be a
Almost,
silhouette.
almost kind of how like was it Blessed from Marlin, the one that had like the arrow, and then it had like the
The
guy
silhouette.
riding the horse with his hands up in the air. There was no uh like, I don't remember there being any like artistry other than just doing that through the embroidery. It was just kind of like a shape.
Yeah, and you're talking about the one that glowed in the dark too, right?
No, this one
That
didn't
was a
go in the
feather.
dark. This is the one that it was a light blue with a black visor,
Oh, that's
and
right.
it
That's
has
right.
like the
Based on
gradient,
the
kind
paint,
of like a
based on the paint.
arrowhead. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was called.
Was it
Uh,
Blessed or I can't remember. Not Blessed. That's the one with the feather with the seam and glow
yeah,
in the dark, right?
yeah, that one's blessings. Thankful. That's right.
Thankful. There
Yeah.
we go.
So it just had the highlight, a little bit of a highlight.
Yeah.
Yeah, that turned out great because you could see from far the silhouette. So
Yeah.
yeah, but yeah, cool concept, Flanagan. Thank you for participating. Number 14, Blossom 14-8. Kind of a spring theme too. So I'm not sure if
Yeah.
he meant to or not, but definitely a cool piece. Kind of samurai and the sakura flower. What are your
Yeah. No,
thoughts?
that's actually really cool. I like that.
Yeah, this would embroider really. This suffers a little bit from like it being really simple, but when you see the embroidery done,
Oh yeah,
it's
yeah.
gonna be a rad piece for sure.
These are the things that I gravitate towards because I just know by now how they're gonna
Embroider.
embroider.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, this is a great piece, man. Good to see him.
Yeah.
Kind of still coming at it. 15 mean streaks. Flanagan. I think this was not meant to be an actual entry. This was like kind of meant to be like an April Fool's thing,
Yeah.
but it made it to crits. I mean,
I would buy it.
damn, you would buy the skid mark.
Oh, absolutely. I
All right,
would I
cool.
would scoop this one up.
I like how the toilet rolls have got the baseball
Yeah.
scenes on it. Pretty rad. Um, he's
That's
got
crazy.
he's got brown hat everywhere. Yeah, this is definitely a piece, man. Um, good job.
Maybe work some yellow stains in the
Oh my god, in the teeth, maybe. Damn,
yeah.
damn. But all right, mean streaks. Number 16. Leaf got into this golf themed hat. So kind of the Greens Rage golf cart, almost a twisted metal thing here. What are your thoughts?
Yeah. Oh, I love this one.
Yeah, it's fun, right? But golf
Yeah.
ones, man, are hard to get them passed through. So we'll see. I think the Masters are coming up too soon. So
Yeah, no, I'm really digging this logo. This is kind of everything that I like. Just
yeah,
the uh
it's
and
just
being golf. There's not very many golf
no,
logos at all. So
no. This is chaos, man. This is cool. Yeah, no notes. I think he did a great job. Like, yeah, good job, Leaf. Number 17, Cosmic Oasis. What are your thoughts here?
great, great image,
Hmm.
great logo. I personally don't know that, I, again, I'm coming with the shapes and the scenic, the scenery within it, just kind of not being my you know favorite design. But I mean, I can't deny the artistry is fantastic.
Yeah, it's
And I'm
yeah,
sure I would assume that it's going to embroider great. They do those gradient backgrounds real well, so I'm sure it'll um I'm sure that if it makes it through the final product, I'm sure it'll look great.
yeah. The cosmic part reminds me of that one, the other scenescape they had. They had the reflection in the water with the cosmic stuff in it. I don't remember who did that one, but it kind of reminds me of that. And then the palm trees are just so like he uses the same kind of palm tree all the time. He just did it with the Skull Island thing.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
but yeah, I'm with you, man. I'm kind of scenescaped out. So color wise is cool. We've seen a lot of like this kind of beetroot pink and vice blue done a lot. I mean,
Yeah.
Flanagan loves that colorway. He loves that colorway.
Yeah.
But yeah, cool piece. It's just not really for me. Um, Good job, Win. Number 18, we got Wilderness Kong, Sierra Gons, kind of bringing this lumberjack Yeti to the forefront. Almost like a peanut butter brown with a dark uh, burnt wood and with a grander. What are your thoughts on this one?
Dude, another one. I freaking love this one. Just the cross axes. Just
Just the iconic silhouette, right?
yeah, yeah, the Kong. And then you just picture him, you know, moseying out from a forest. Just chopping down trees. So
Yeah,
yeah, that's an instant cop right there.
yeah. It's just that this like Kong silhouette is just so iconic for the brand. It's just cool to see people do their different interpretations. I mean, we
Yeah.
saw with Ink Kong and kind of how Chris and Hillside Goods kind of took a stab at it, just kind of changing up
Oh
elements,
yeah,
but
yeah.
still remaining familiar. I think Sierra did a pretty similar job. We got the cross action going, and then um, the Yeti instead of the Kong. Yeah, great piece to me. All right, moving forward, we got number 19, not a peep creature. Kind of like old school Bret Hart colorway, black with a hyper,
Yeah.
which me I'm totally into.
Oh
Um,
yeah, yeah.
what are your thoughts here?
It's really cool and rather demonic bunny, I guess, or rabbit.
Yeah,
So
yeah, I'm
that's
into it.
cool.
Yeah,
I'm curious, all the sharp points or angles. Is that gonna cause any issues? Like, once the final, the embroidery, is that gonna break down, or is that gonna, could they maybe space them out, or kind of reduce a few of the angles to kind of. But no, it's scaring me a little bit. So, but no, I like it. I definitely like it.
yeah. Not your typical Easter bunny, but
No, not
I
at
like
all.
the demonized version, which I'm totally into, man. I think this is like a cool concept. He's about to eat the peep too, so not a peep. I'm into the colorway, man. The black and the hyper pink reminds me of the excellence of
Yeah.
execution. Yeah, I'm into it, man. Good job, Danny. All right. Last but not least, we got the Ouroboros, the self-eating snake. Um, by Junker and Levi. So these two have been teaming up a lot lately. So, what are your thoughts on the Ouroboros, the self-eating snake?
This is actually a great rendition of it. I like it. I'm assuming that it's kind of tying into the snakes, like from the video games on like the mobile phones.
The
That's
Nokia,
just,
right? Yeah,
yeah. I didn't
yeah.
know if this was like tying in with the video game or the arcade um, uh,
I
call,
never
but
I never played at the arcade. I definitely played it on my Nokia. That was like the only thing your Nokia could do: snake and text and call. That's it.
yeah,
Yeah, but
yeah. No, I definitely dig it. I like the this is an interesting take on the the self-consuming snake.
yeah, it's almost done as if it's like a hieroglyphic too, which is
Oh
cool.
yeah, yeah.
Uh, I don't know on your screen if it looks black, but on one of my screens it looks black. The other screen looks dark brown. I probably would push to want this to be on a black hat more than the brown, but nonetheless, um,
Yeah. It
we
looks
see the
black to
snake.
me. Um,
It
but
looks black to you. Okay,
yeah,
yeah. And again, we see that beetroot vice blue kind of colorway that everyone's
yeah,
uh, kind of using all the time. But yeah, it's a cool piece. Kind of could potentially fall into arcade, maybe, maybe not. But yeah. So that was the 20 pieces that are jumping into crits, and then last but not least, the challenge of the week decreed by Casey. Gas station snacks. This was actually my idea that I ran by him, and he kind of helped me refine it. Originally, it was supposed to be um, something else, but then he suggested we go specifically to do the gas station snacks. So we're talking about like Slurpees, um, beef jerky, soda machines, donuts, just anything cool. Like just give it a mascot and kind of see where we go. Full disclosure: this is all created by AI. For the purposes of you guys seeing this visually, as opposed to just me saying gas station snacks. But yeah, gas station. Get your creative juices flowing, clinkers. And again, any ideas and concepts you guys come up with, completely yours. I don't want to think. Just like a cool challenge to throw out for you guys for the week. But Yusuf, man, this was a blast. I'm glad we got to do this.
yeah, totally.
And thank you for coming on the platform and kind of sharing your pack with the world. I hope you sell a lot of units and you get to do your thing. But I think you will, man. This is a cool pack. You picked really cool and engaging logos. You went a little Austin heavy, but there's not a problem with that in the world. He's an amazing.
I'll work on that next time.
Yeah.
I'll spread it around. Yeah.
Don't worry, man. My first packs were all artist heavy, so
Yeah, 40. Oh, I remember the 40 swords was pretty heavily prominent
yeah,
in one of those drops. So,
yeah, for
yeah.
sure. Yeah.
So,
Well, my guys were. It was a bunch of 40. Was it Phil, and then Aaron Bird and Paige. So
yeah.
yeah. Truth of the matter, I just submitted a bunch in case he just picked what he wanted to do, which I'm totally fine with too. Because if you give me the
Yeah.
choice, I'll make them all. I'll make them all.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, it was a total blast. Getting to do this with you. Where can people
Yeah. I appreciate you.
connect with you?
I mean, just Instagram, high low cool. That's pretty much where my primary social media presence is. Um, I hop in there's a Clink Room Facebook group that I kind of hop in occasionally, but primarily it's just Instagram.
Instagram. Awesome. All right. Well, for Yusuf and Leon, we out here. Peace.
Appreciate it.
Eternal damnation. Eternal damnation.
You're at the end of the world as you know it, my dude. Time is up and you out of mood, so what will you do? It's the BP mercenaries not here to...
Brought to you by VFTV.